Alexa, turn on the Christmas tree. Ugh, dink. I love that so much. So December is here, and we're pretty much allowed to have this stuff. Well, technically December is tomorrow for when this is going to release, but it's close enough. Really, all this stuff is kind of, the holidays to me. I'm one of those guys that pretty much the day after Halloween, I'm all about putting up the Christmas tree. I'm all about listening to Christmas music. I'm all about watching my favorite Christmas movie, Elf, all the time. So I'm one of those dudes. I know some people are like, you gotta wait until after thing. No, I'm okay with it all being kind of grouped into one thing. Hence, one of my new favorite shirts, my Stormtrooper guy, little holiday. I love it. Thank you for Target for having amazing stuff like this. I absolutely love it. Anyway, something interesting happened over the holidays. And it happened on Thanksgiving, and it could not have been a better day for this to happen. I hit 10,000 subscribers, and I was up in Maryland with my dad, my stepmom, and my wife. We're all celebrating Thanksgiving, and we're finishing up cooking whenever I looked at my phone, and I think it was my dad that looked at me, or my stepmom looked at me and said, have you hit it yet? Because they knew that I was really, really close. They said, have you hit it yet? I was like, I don't know. I haven't checked in a couple hours, which I should have been like obsessively checking it. But, I was more focused on family and trying to spend the time with them that I could because we didn't really have a lot of time with them. So I checked it, rolled over to 10,001 subscribers as we were finishing up cooking dinner. And I think they were more excited for me than I was. Of course, I was excited about it. Of course I was. But, it's one of those things that it doesn't really quite hit you. And I think my wife was the most excited for me. She immediately started jumping up and down, give me a hug, give me a kiss, and congratulations. And she was so proud of me. And it was a very special moment for me looking back at it. And, of course, we sat down at dinner. My family, they all toasted me and saying congratulations. And they were kind enough to be gracious enough to kind of understand that that was a big deal. So that was pretty great, it didn't really hit me then, I think, because I was happy. Don't get me wrong. I was very, very happy. But when I started this channel in like early January, and technically I started it then, but I didn't post my first set of videos until like late January. And then I really didn't get serious about it until like mid-March or so, like early to mid-March. So I kind of spent some time going through this stuff to kind of see how I liked YouTube, see if I could be successful, see what happened, see if I can get my first 100 subscribers in a pretty quick amount of time, which I did. And that kind of jump-started the whole thing, and I ended up taking it more seriously around mid-March and changed my style up a little bit, updated it to make it just better, and kind of went off to the races from there. And from that point, I made the goal that by the end of the year, I wanted to have two things. I wanted to have 10,000 subscribers, and I wanted to have 500,000 views across all of my videos. So I got one of those things. I did 10,000 subscribers. When I set out that goal, I did not think that I was going to get it at all. It was a lofty goal, and I thought that I could get to 5,000, 6,000, and I thought that was a little bit more reasonable, but that's not the point of it. That if I set the goal a little bit lower and what I thought was going to be the minimum, then I wouldn't have had the drive, the motivation. I wouldn't have had that really tough goal pushing me to try to be more successful on the medium. The 500,000 views, I'm getting actually pretty close. Right now I'm averaging a little bit over 100,000 views a month. I'm at 400,000 views now. So by the end of the year, by the end of December, if the trend continues, I should also have that goal as well, which to me, that's kind of a bigger deal. That was a harder goal to reach than it was the 10,000 subscribers as far as in my mind. So for me, that's going to feel a little bit more impressive, I guess, to me. Maybe not to somebody else, but to me. It's going to matter more to me than a subscriber number, which that's not to say that my subscribers, my wonderful, wonderful, generous, amazing subscribers don't mean anything to me, because you do. You genuinely mean the world to me, and I just want to take a moment to give a heartfelt thank you to all of you. I genuinely love you all for coming along with me in this journey, for taking the time out of your day to come and watch my videos, to say such nice things in the comments, to share my videos, to like them, to just be my friend on this medium. It's been incredible. And the community that we have created, not me, we have created, is special. The JDTechTV family is something that I think that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. Yeah. When you're thinking about things that you're going to be proud of at the end of your life, when you're on your deathbed, there's probably going to be a handful of things that you're going to be able to look back and say that I was in the right place at the right time, and I had the right amount of support, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. And it's humbling. It's humbling to think of, shaking this. It's humbling to think that as much hard work as I've put into this, that YouTube, the community, and creating success on this platform is a lot of things that you can be successful at, you can do it yourself. And that's kind of the model that you see recently. A lot of that kind of, pick yourself up by the bootstraps, do it all yourself, don't worry about anybody else. You can be successful, and you can step over people in order to do that. And sure, there's a little bit of that on YouTube. You can do that, but pretty quickly, the YouTube community in itself and YouTubers themselves kind of police their own in a way. They kind of gang up on people, and they kind of make sure that people don't grow to these huge numbers like the people want to, if they're trying to do something that is rude, it's trying to do something that's just not right, trying to do something that is just not honest. And I think for the most part, the community kind of pleases itself. There's a few exceptions out there, obviously, that's going to exist, but YouTube kind of helps take care of that a little bit. There's this whole demonetization thing that's going on, and I mean, it's tough for a lot of people, but for me, I've been pretty lucky. I've only had a few videos demonetized, and you just kind of do the thing where you press the review button after it's hit 1,000 views. It gets remonetized almost right away. Some people aren't so lucky. They're having channels deleted, they're having videos deleted, and their views are suffering, and their AdSense is suffering. And I feel for those people, because I haven't been largely affected by that yet, but it's one of those things that we try to do the best that we can in order to police our own. YouTube is kind of stepping up and making sure that it's as safe of a place that you can possibly have. And depending on your opinion, that's a good and a bad thing. I think they're going a little bit strong as of recently, but I genuinely think that it'll even out. Anyway, I get sidetracked in these kind of things. If you haven't seen these things before, where I sit down and I just talk to you for these milestone videos. I've done this for I think 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000, and now for 10,000. And if you haven't seen these before, which most of you haven't, I would assume, because the last one I did was for 5,000, so I'm assuming that at least 5,000 of you haven't seen these type of videos. And what I want to do is I just sit down, it's completely uncut, and I just kind of talk to you about whatever is on my mind. And a lot of YouTube personalities, or just people that are on the internet in general, they don't like to be open on the internet. They don't like to be vulnerable. And that's kind of what I like to do in these kind of videos, these kind of talks, is I just talk. And I'm not shy about opening up and being vulnerable and saying all the good things about me and all the bad things about me as well. I don't have a problem doing that at all. If anything, it's kind of therapy that I'm able to kind of be so open and let you all into my life and see me for what I am, not for what you think that I am on YouTube. And that's one of the questions, that's actually one of the compliments that I get the most on YouTube is, you're so positive and that you're always smiling and you seem so excited to be doing what you're doing in your videos. You're genuinely excited to be expressing, talking about whatever products that you're talking about. And how do you do that? That's so incredible. You have good, I've gotten one of the most amazing things was something that happened recently. Nick Nimmin, who is an amazing YouTuber, is a specialist and a master on developing YouTube pages and developing growth strategies in order to be a better YouTuber and to gain success on the medium. He was on a live stream, and I just jumped in there and just said some nice words about him because I genuinely think very nice things about him. I think he's incredible as far as I don't know him personally, but for a YouTube creator, I think he is the best that's out there. And I just wanted to express that to him. I jumped in the live stream, said some few nice things about him, and he said that, I have, killer camera presence, and, he enjoys my videos, and it's something that other people should watch as well. So, gaining notoriety from people like that, like wow, like that's, it's the pat on the back that you need in order to continue to do this from day to day, because if, as critical as some people are in the comments, I don't let that bother me, because that's the comment section. That's kind of what exists in the comment section. And for the most part, I've been very lucky with people being nice in the comment section, very encouraging, and that's very, very lovely, and I appreciate that. But the bad ones, that's fine. Everybody has their opinion. I'm not for everybody. My videos aren't for everybody. Sometimes people get a little trollish, and they're just saying bad things just to say it. And I don't really like that kind of stuff, but, I don't really engage with those people. There's really no winning for that. But there's really no other more critical person of my videos than me. I'm incredibly critical of my own videos. I don't think that any of my videos are really good. And that's kind of worked to my advantage, being so hypercritical of myself, is that I never am satisfied, ever. I'm never satisfied with any video that I put out. I think that it is pure hot donkey garbage the entire time. And then whenever I get to editing, I kind of slowly make it to where it's just okay enough for me to put out, to where I'm not embarrassed to put it out. But as I'm filming the whole thing, I think that it's the worst thing that I've ever done every time. And it's worse than the last one. So if anything, that kind of crazy thinking helps push me forward to be better, and to help to create different types of videos, to push my style in a different direction, to try to be better. And it's not specifically just to be better for me, because I think I'm always going to be critical of my own videos, and I'm always going to think that they're terrible, but it's to be better for you. And that's kind of the whole thing about this video, about saying thank you for the 10,000 subscribers and the support that you've been giving me over the past 10 months or so that I've been doing this. And that's part of these videos, is all of my other videos are pretty hyper cut. I want to keep things moving. I want to keep it at a fast pace, but that's not really the way that I talk. I speak in a lot of pauses. I try to think about what I say before I say it. Sometimes it kind of causes these brief moments of pause. Also, I'm a big guy, 6'5", over 250 pounds. I'm a big dude. I'm a gorilla of a human, as I said in one of my previous videos. By the way, just a quick plug, I got to do it. I'm so sorry. If you haven't seen my Meepo board review, it's one that I'm genuinely kind of proud of. It's about as proud as I could possibly be of a video. I just kind of did a few different styles. I was outside. It was this kind of moving review in a new style for me that I think I did pretty okay at, and I feel good about it. If you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and put a card for it up here. I don't know which one it is. It's one of those things up here. So you can watch it, and I'll also place it in the description down below, and I think I'll put it as an end card at the end, so you can watch it if you want. Just, give me your general thoughts just to take a look at it. I had a lot of fun doing it, because I did that while I was up in Maryland visiting family for Thanksgiving. So that is kind of my 10,000 subscriber video, which is kind of cool. On Thanksgiving Day, as I was approaching 10,000, I was doing that video. So the rush of emotion of getting really close to that marker was kind of coming off in that video a little bit, and the style, and it was a little bit more inspired. And anyway, go check it out. Shameless plug. I forgot where I was going. I think I was talking about how these are kind of I'm talking about how I'm a big dude. And even though I'm a big guy, I don't mind sharing emotions. I don't mind being emotional, and I don't really cry over like sad stuff, like almost ever. I'm accused of being cold about like sad scenarios, death, things like that. But like I'm just very kind of I don't know, disconnected from the concept of things that are sad in a way that I don't really. It's uncomfortable to me, so I don't really express that emotion really for sadness. As far as crying and getting emotional is concerned, I tend to kind of put up a wall for that. But as far as for happiness, and as far as for accomplishments, and as far as for just generally being happy for people, that's the thing that I tear up about. That's the thing that I get emotional about. And it's hard to talk about these things and not not get emotional, and not for my own success. That's not what I'm getting emotional about. But what I'm getting emotional about is talking about you and the support that you've given this channel. And man, it's incredible. See, you get a little emotional with this stuff, and it's a little, I look a little silly, but it's fine. I don't care. This is kind of that whole thing of being vulnerable. I don't mind. But sidetrack. That's what it was. I'm so sorry. These kind of videos, like I said, these are very unscripted, kind of strange videos that is basically just me sitting down and talking to you, and I get sidetracked sometimes, and I get back to topics. People talk about, one of the largest compliments that I get is that I'm excited and happy within the videos. That's what I was trying to get at like 5 minutes ago, which is true. And they ask me if it's genuine. They ask me if it's a style of me speaking, if it's an act, like if I'm just acting in order to have like a style for like a personality for the video. And I mean, I tell everybody what I tell these people as well, is that no, I'm genuinely excited. I'm so happy to be doing what I'm doing on YouTube. I'm so happy to be a part of it that I can't help but talk about it, and I can't help but do it without a huge smile on my face. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. Absolute favorite thing. And it's funny because I kind of tripped and fell into it. I didn't get into this for a dream of being a YouTuber. I got into it because I am still in school at UCF for physics and planetary science, and I have student loans, and these things are expensive, and I wanted to try to figure out some sort of passive income through Amazon Associates and selling products, like a tech review channel, because that kind of spoke to me, because I kind of do that anyway. Like, I'm kind of the tech guy within my friends, so I figured that would be easy for me, as well as having a marketing background as well. Kind of all those things kind of meshed together, and it just kind of made sense. Come to find out, it's the wrong reason to get into it, because it's super hard to make any money on YouTube in at least the first 6 months. And then in the first 6 months, you're making pennies. Essentially, you're making pennies. And then as the kind of time goes on, I think this is a discussion for a different video, but there's creative ways to making an income on YouTube without like selling out. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to promote a product just for the sake of money or anything like that. That's silly, right? That kind of ruins the whole concept of YouTube. But when people ask me if I'm like that all the time, if I'm happy like that all the time, whenever I say that, no, like, I'm genuinely excited and happy to be promoting these products and to tell you about the products and to be able to do these videos, it's super fun. How could I not be excited to do it every single day? I love it. And then they kind of ask me also, kind of like, not so bluntly, but they pretty much ask me, like, are you like this all the time? Like, they want to know about me personally. Am I like this all the time? And no, I'm not. I'm not happy all the time, but that's okay. And that's something else that I should probably express to you as well, because with kind of what I talked about before, if you are a YouTuber and if you are coming across this demonetization thing, then of course I sympathize with you, because I understand how defeating that is going to be. And even if you're not a YouTuber, and if you're somebody who is facing general hardships in your life, or even extraordinary hardships in your life, it's really hard to be positive, right? I struggle with that every day. And I found something that brings me one of the largest joys that I've ever been able to experience in my life, aside from getting to share my life with my beautiful wife, Victoria. She would probably kill me if I didn't say that, but that's true. She's my favorite thing in the world. But YouTube is a very close second. Well, it's a third because my dog. So I love my dog probably more than... Actually, I love my dog more than most humans. Actually, I love my dog more than all humans except for my wife. Yeah, that's about right. It's really important to express that it's okay to be sad. And see, this is that whole emotional thing that I told you about. And again, I don't mind doing this in front of you. It doesn't embarrass me or anything like that. But it's really okay to be sad. But the thing that I want you to focus on your day-to-day life is finding your version of JDTechTV. Finding your version of the thing that you get to come home to every single day and be happy. Because it took me the majority of my life to try to find something like that, because I've had many passions throughout my life. I've had different careers. I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of things that aren't not what I would consider myself now. And growing up, I, like most people, suffer with a form of depression. It's not really severe, but it's there. And it's something that I battle with every day, as most people do. And a lot of times people don't really realize it. And the people that don't have to deal with that, I am incredibly envious of those people, because I haven't really gotten to know that feeling of no depression since like childhood, since I was like a kid. And kind of what happens from that when you grow up with that is you tend to make a lot of mistakes. You tend to do a lot of stupid things, and you tend to hurt some people. And I'm guilty of those things. But as I get older, I spent my entire life not forgiving myself for the things that, for the mistakes that I've made. And I think a lot of people go through that, and it's not really something that people are comfortable talking about. They're not really comfortable saying that they made a mistake. They're not comfortable saying that they messed up in some way. And I made a lot of mistakes, but what I've come to learn in my older age, as I'm now in my 30s, super old, I got the gray hair. Granted, I've had this gray hair since I've been like 19 years old. I've looked pretty much the same since I've been like 19 years old, just a little bit thinner. I was like this thin. Like I was like super, super thin when I was like younger. Anyway, but what was I saying? We've made mistakes. See, this is how my brain works. I pause a lot. We've all made mistakes, and as I get older, where I used to regret the things that I've done, I didn't spend the proper amount of time forgiving myself for making mistakes in my past. And when you spend too much time doing that, it's really hard to learn from your mistakes. So I haven't been able to do that for the majority of my life, and this is a relatively in the past like 5 years or so, recent revelation to forgive yourself and to focus on what makes you happy. And that's kind of one of my biggest downfalls, and it sounds weird to say this is a downfall, but it's one of my biggest downfalls to that I have a lot of compassion for people, and kind of what happens from that is that I care so much about making sure that other people are happy that I end up sacrificing my own happiness in the process of doing that. And then whenever you take that to an extreme, you, at all costs, you want to make sure that other people are comfortable and that other people are happy, and that sort of gets extended to their opinion of you. So you want to make sure that you are, they're as happy with you as they possibly can. So my mistakes, whenever growing up, to kind of be a little bit more specific, my mistakes was I wanted to make sure that everybody was as happy with me as possible, as well as happy in their own lives at all times. And if I ever made a mistake, I covered it up and I lied about it. And I wanted to make sure that people saw me in a better light. They saw me as being more responsible than I really was, and that hurt some people. You know, doing things like that, it's not acceptable in any way. It's more of a self-preservation kind of thing as well. And again, I'm not excusing it at all, but that's kind of what I went through growing up. And people's opinion of you, while it's important, your opinion of you and how you feel at the end of the day is going to be the most important thing that you're going to carry with you throughout the rest of your life. It bleeds into every aspect of your existence, making sure that you are as happy with you as possible. And the opinions of others, it's nice if people like you, and it's nice if people have a positive opinion of you, but as long as you're happy with what you're doing at the end of the day, the opinions of others is really kind of inconsequential. Like, it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't change you. Their opinion of you doesn't change you if you know that their opinion is incorrect. If there's a lot of people that have a bad opinion of you, then maybe you should look at yourself and see if there's a problem. In saying all that, I want to express, I want to be somebody who allows people who go through these depressions, to go through these sad times, to go through these times that, even if they're not depressed, just the world's going through some tough times right now. So I want to make sure that I am however small it is, a beacon of light for somebody that they can look to in a day and take 5, 10 minutes, however long my videos are, just to smile, or just to be informed, or just to be entertained in any way. And that's kind of the goal of the channel. While the tagline of the channel is to I'm helping the average consumer make better tech purchase decisions, really the ultimate goal is just to make you smile as much as I smile while I'm doing this. It's the way that I can make an impact on the world through YouTube, and I encourage you to do the same. Not specifically even have to be through YouTube. I mean, if you want to start a channel, I'm always encouraging of people starting channels every single time. I will never discourage somebody from doing that, ever, because it's super fun and it's awesome, and I think that it's kind of the future, if you have the patience for it. But finding your happiness, it doesn't mean anything if you don't share that with people. And that's, again, what I'm doing here. In these subscriber milestone videos, I tend to get, I mean, I'm already at like 28 minutes, I can see. So for those of you that are still watching, I commend you. It's always a long journey, and there's always a few of you that kind of make it. And for those of you who have made it this far, I do have a surprise for you. I'm going to be giving something away, and it's actually a pretty big thing. So you should be happy that you have already spent 28 minutes going through this, which I'll get to that in just a second. But to kind of wrap this stuff up, I'm rambling at this point, but the message that I want to bring to you, for all the love that you have given me, for the 10,000 subscribers, for all of the support, all the good times, and all the comments, all the private messages, all the congratulations, trust me, it means more to me than you know. And it's something that I'll always be able to carry with me forever, for the rest of my life. And that's such an incredible gift that you can give to somebody that you've never met. It's so kind. It's so kind and it's so incredible, and you should feel good about that. So I always want to encourage others because of the love that they give me on this medium. I always want to express that if in any way that you possibly can, because of how much it means to me, because how much it makes my day every single day, and it has just created such a positive memory for my entire life. I encourage you to do the same for others. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be on YouTube, it doesn't have to be where you direct all its attention, but finding your own happiness, finding your own version of the JDTechTV, and giving back and expressing your love to others is the greatest way that you can contribute and make your mark on the world is just to, sound silly, but be kind. Just be kind to others. That's the only thing that you can do. So to wrap this up quickly, thank you for the 10,000 subscribers before we get to the giveaway. Thank you for the 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for the love and support that you have given me. It's been incredible. And the next one that I'll probably be doing is probably like a 50,000, something like that, and then 100,000 when I get that play button. Hopefully I can get to that pretty quickly. And with your help and support, if you want to share out my videos, maybe not specifically this one. This one's kind of like a hard niche to kind of like share out. This is kind of just for you. This isn't for people who haven't discovered me. This is for you. That would help pretty big. And any support that you give, any shares that you give is always going to be appreciated. So before I got to stop rambling. So anyway, I love you all. Let's go ahead and get into this giveaway. This is something that this company, I get things all the time, and they don't specifically require me to review them. They just kind of send them to me and say like, hey, check it out, see if you like it, and if you like it, give it up for a review. They sent me this kind of whole package, and I love it. I use it every single day. I will be reviewing it. And they sent kind of like an extra one for me to kind of put around the house to kind of extend the usage of this. And I used it. I wasn't going to initially because like I live like in an apartment kind of thing. So like this isn't, by the way, we're going to be trying to get a house here pretty soon. Super excited about that. But I didn't feel like I really needed that much. There wasn't a lot of space in here in order for me to use like a second one of these kind of things. So I was going to use that one as a giveaway. I was kind of planning on doing that, but I kept it. So because I know that I want to get a house like really soon. So I kind of kept it for like the extra space. So what I ended up doing is I actually ended up just buying another one. I ended up, just wanting to give you guys something pretty special. These things are not cheap. And this is something that I feel like I could gladly get back to. This wasn't a problem. So what this is called Amplify. This is from company Ubiquity Labs. And what this is part of a mesh. It's basically to help your Wi-Fi. So this whole thing, I'm going to open this up here real quick so you can see it. It's a router that replaces the router that you have in your home. And this thing is so sexy. It's still got the plastic wrap on it. Don't worry, I didn't open it or anything like that. I just kind of open it so you could see this. It displays right here. It displays all your speed and everything that your internet is getting. This thing boosts your internet like crazy. I have the fastest internet that I can buy. Got the fastest internet, and it kind of tops out like at a pretty decent speed. Like I'm in Orlando, so like these kind of like the infrastructure, this kind of stuff isn't always the best depending on what part of Orlando you're in. So you kind of need stuff like this in order to boost the signal for your Wi-Fi. This is a multi-mesh system to where you can have multiple ones of these all throughout your house, and you can kind of see it a little bit, and you kind of set these things throughout your house. It has an app to where you can actually control everything right on the phone. You don't have to mess with this at all. This is all touchscreen, so you can mess with it if you want to, but you really don't need to. The app's really good. So you can put this stuff all throughout your house, and you can create a nice little mesh system to where you pretty much don't have any dead spots throughout your house, no matter how big the size is. Just more you get, the better that it gets. And they also have these extenders that you can just plug right into a wall. I don't have one of those to give away because that was like 3 times the price to get like the whole thing. It's around the holiday times. I didn't have that much money to do it with. I had some, so, but they have those as well. So you can add those on if you like, if you do end up winning this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little link down below, in the description. And there's going to be a few things to do in that, namely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to just, do a couple things like, it's going to ask you to watch a couple videos. It's going to ask you to subscribe to my Twitter account if you haven't already done that. And just overall, just kind of the more things that you do within this contest, you'll see it down below. It's a Gleam contest. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. I use that for my best tech videos. And it just asks you to do a few things. And the more things that you do, the more chances that you have in order to win. It's like a point system. So you do this one thing, you get 3 points. You do this other thing, you get 4 points. You get this other, you subscribe to this other person, you get 10 points, that kind of thing. So the larger the amount of points that you have that goes within this larger pool, at the end of 2 weeks, I'm going to be giving this away in 2 weeks. This will be a nice Christmas present for somebody. I'm going to announce the winner on my Twitter account. So you have to follow my Twitter account if you want to find out who won. So my Twitter account is at JDTechTV. Again, I'll put all the stuff in the description. And at the end of that, just kind of the more points that you have, then the greater the chance you have of winning. Also, I'm going to go ahead and mention it right now. One of the things that I'm going to do within the Gleam contest is I'm going to have ask you to subscribe to one of my buddies and one of my biggest supporters throughout this entire thing. His name is Justin Bravo. He has an incredible vlogging channel. He is, no joke, he is the next big thing. The next big thing on YouTube. He's got 75,000 subscribers right now. I want to get this man to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think it's possible with your help. I think if all of you went over there and subscribed, if you haven't done that already, that would get him so much closer. Share out his channel. Just overall, just look at his stuff. I'll put a couple videos of his down in the description as well. And just make sure that you're spreading the love. This could be one of the things that you do throughout this holiday season in order to start, if you haven't found your niche, in order to spread the love throughout the rest of the world, to spread the joy, like I talked about earlier in this video. This could be step one of doing that. So I would greatly appreciate it, as well as Justin would greatly appreciate it. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and put the links in the description down below for everything that I talked about. I'm going to put the link in the description down below for this. If you just like it and you really don't feel like waiting, or you don't think that you're going to win the contest, I'll put the link in there down below for you to check it out, for you to buy it if you would like. If you want to buy it for somebody else, that would be awesome. So to sum it all up, thank you. And thank you for sticking around. I purposely didn't put the giveaway in the title or the thumbnail or anything like that, because I wanted this to be a kind of a surprise for the, I don't know if I'd call them true fans, but for the patient fans, for the patient JDTechTV family that decided to stick around for this thing. You have been rewarded. So you're going to be probably one of the few that's going to be able to enter the contest, and that's pretty much it. I love you, genuinely. I love all of you. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you soon.